Hello, Magic Muse. Welcome back to As Above, So Below Healing. So today we're going to be chatting about mediumship. Mediumship is a big topic that a lot of people have a lot of questions and curiosity around. So let's dive into this. So mediumship is connecting with the spirit world, connecting with your ancestors, with your guides, having communication beyond the veil. And I really wanted to do this video because I recently had a coworker who is also a friend pass in a house fire last Thursday. So this is very fresh, and I'm sorry I'm getting emotional. And I wanted to talk about the process of transitioning and communication with your loved ones on the other side, because they are always communicating with you. But we are needing to help raise our vibrations to be able to notice the signs, to notice the synchronicities, to notice the messages. So I have had multiple mediumship experiences. I am in a mediumship circle. I have been doing readings for practice, and I've noticed that there's a lot surrounding your self-confidence and the mind being like, is this real? And to trust yourself, to trust your intuition, to trust the messages that come to you. And spirit works with your innate gifts. It works with what you are already comfortable with. So in the last video that we did about psychic gifts, I mentioned that my strongest clairs are clairvoyance and clairaudience and clairsentience, which is feeling. Also claircognizance. I get a lot of just random downloads. So I've noticed that when I'm sitting for somebody, I have given spirit direction to, if it's a male, come in on the right, if it's a female, come in on the left. And not every medium works that way. So you just develop a dialogue with whatever works for you. Some people just automatically get a feeling with who it is or what kind of gender it is, whatever. But the biggest thing is, it's not so much focusing on the description. So it's not so much focusing on the height, the hair color, the eye color, whatever. It's really bringing a message to your sitter and bringing validation with who you have with you is actually this person's best friend or this person's grandfather or whatever it is. And you can connect with pets on the other side. So if you are wanting to connect with a loved one who has passed, and you are looking for something specific, you can ask them. Say, so-and-so, come in and give me a sign that I am on the right path, or give me a sign if, this is the right job for me to take. And oftentimes you will either see numbers, you will hear a song, or you will get a confirmation or a feeling of either a yes or no. And it's very subtle, but the more and more you practice and the more and more you trust, the more you are going to get more profound evidence. Selena's here with us today. So, excuse me. So I just want to give you some of my tips and tricks and what has happened for me. A lot of the times when I have had somebody pass, so I've had my grandmother pass, I've had my dog pass, and now I've had a very good friend, Jules, pass. And they have all come to me in my dreams. And oftentimes it will take a little bit for them to come through because of the human healing process, because of the grief. So a lot of the times they won't come in because you are grieving, because you are sad, because they don't want to make you more sad. But there can be a transition period, but it depends on the person. So if somebody was very spiritual in their waking life and they pass, it may not take them as long to cross over because they already understand that the human body is just a 3D body. It is not their soul. So crossing over to them doesn't feel as jarring. It's more of an acceptance. Um, so when my friend Jules passed, it's still very fresh. So forgive me if I tear up. But when I found out that she passed, I was one in disbelief. I couldn't believe it because I had just saw her a few months ago, and I just started bawling. I just started crying. And then I felt this overwhelming reassurance of being loved, of being held. And she said, Tiffany, I can be everywhere all at the same time now. And she used to be a spa concierge at the spa that I used to work at. So she would help everybody get appointments. She would help people get, waters and cookies, and like she was the liaison between the spa and the front desk. And she had such a beautiful light, such a beautiful essence, and her and I would talk about spiritual stuff all the time. She did QHHT, and she did muscle testing, and I did Reiki on her. And she would come out and visit me for markets with my candle business. She was just such a ray of light for everybody. And every time I cried, all I can see is her beautiful, dazzling face. And she had a dog who passed, and she's like, I'm up here with Bobo. And I know that she is helping us down here on the other side, just like she did in the waking life. But it's grappling with that humanness of the pain, of the sadness of her not being here anymore. But so a few days, I'd say probably 3 days after she had passed, she visited me in my dream. And she actually called me on the phone. And it felt so real to me. Often that's what visitations are. I'm getting a ringing in my right ear. She called me on the phone, and we were trying to get together, like we were trying to meet up. And then she went back to talking about her mom. And then as soon as I like remembered that she had passed, I was asking her questions about the fire, and then she was gone. Like there was just no more communication. And then I woke up. And then I knew what was going on. I was like, that's not information for me to know right now. And I asked her, I was like, Jules, when I fall back asleep, can you please just come and visit me? I just want to feel your essence. And so I went back asleep. I didn't ask any questions, but she actually was sitting on my couch in the same position that Bruce, my dog, had passed in, because we did home hospice for him. And I just hugged her. She was just smiling. She's like, I'm still here. I'm still here holding you. I'm still here supporting you. And that's the beauty of mediumship, is because our loved ones are always with us. Even if it's painful that they're not here in the 3D world, but it's just a dimension shift. And when I think of that, it eases my mind. I've had so many experiences where things should have been a lot worse than they were, but I knew that somebody was helping me on the other side. And when you're able to sit and tap into that, you you can have such amazing experiences. And I also was hearing Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bob Marley. And to me, that was also confirmation of like, you know, don't worry. Like, this is just, death is a natural thing. It's sad, but, you know, it's also reassuring to know that it's not the end. Death is not the end. It's just a transition of form. And even though I miss her greatly, I know that she's going to be right here in my rituals. She's here right now, you know, like it's just that knowing that she's not gone. Even though it feels like that in the human world, but trusting in your skills, trusting in your mediumship is life-changing. And I will be going to Casadega, Florida with my friend Corey in May. And this is really something that I am really wanting to hone in on and strengthen because it can help so many people. And it's, death is something that none of us want to think about or talk about, but having people who understand the process in this medium liminal space is so helpful. And guess who does that? Hecate. She is in charge of liminal spaces. She is the guide of the underworld. And that's why I feel so connected to her, to mediumship, to hypnosis, to subconscious, to tarot. You know, like it all blends together. And when you start to trust the signs and the knowing, you're able to open up a lot more. And you don't have to be born a medium in order to be a medium. We can all be mediums. It just takes practice and it takes trust. And no, you may not be perfect right away. I know I'm not. I've been wrong. But doing it anyway and releasing that perfectionist tendency is something that I constantly have to tell myself. I constantly have to rid myself of the thought of like, well, what if I'm wrong? Or what if somebody pays and nobody comes through? You know, like those are all things that mediums wrestle with. And it's just moving in spite of the fear, because nobody knows, you know, how things are going to work out or turn out unless they try. So thank you guys for being here. Please let me know what you want the next topic to be down in the comments below. And if you have had a visit from a loved one, please let me know your experience if you're open to that. I love hearing about afterlife. I watch the paranormal investigation shows all the time. I'm all about ghosts. Like I just I can't get enough of it. So you're in a safe place if you do want to reach out and communicate more about that. So, but thank you guys for being here. Remember, you are the magic. Blessed be. Bye.